People feel that gluten-free food tastes like crap. You know what? It has so much flavor, and the flavor is all about what you want to put into it. Today, based on that, I'm going to show you an awesome Asian dish that I've created. I'm going to be doing a beautiful Asian chicken that we're going to roast off in the oven. I am then going to make a really spicy peanut sauce that's going to go with it, and after that, we're going to do some awesome crepes with my pancake mix. But I'm going to get started right now and show you the chicken part. I want to talk to you a bit, actually, about the chicken. One thing, you know, in marketing, they talk about hormone, antibiotic-free chickens, and it's all more expensive, of course, if you're going to buy it that way. Do you know that chicken, by law, in North America, are not allowed to have hormones? So it's all a scam, really. Think about it. Look for a free-range or grain-fed chicken that's out in the pasture. Second to that, when we do this dish in particular, I've got a 3.5 pound chicken I'm using. Going to the trouble of turning my oven on, making one chicken. Make two. Make two, make one with just salt and pepper, put it in your fridge. You got chicken for the week to make sandwiches, quesadillas, anything you want to do with it. Last little thing I want to tell you about the chicken is always brine. If you've got the time, definitely go with the brine. Brine is simply putting water and salt solution together, and you put the chicken into the brine, into your fridge for a good 12 hours anyway. It gives you the most delicious, plump chicken that you're ever going to eat. Anyway, on that note, let's get started. Here's my chicken. I've already washed it down. And here's the little trick with this. Before I get my hands onto this chicken, I'm doing a butter compound here. I am doing a Chinese 5-spice with the butter and cilantro. That's my Asian flair on this. I'm making this compound. I'm going to be putting it under the skin to build up my flavor. The Chinese 5-spice, if you choose to make it yourself, you've got star anise, Szechuan peppercorns, cloves, cinnamon, white pepper, and salt. Easy to make. Just blend a teaspoon of each one together, blend it, put it in an airtight container, 6 months maybe. With this, you're going to use a fork. Watch what I'm doing. Mush it up. Just get it all incorporated. And all I'm doing is basically making a compound butter here. Get all those spices into the butter, and then that's going to go under the skin. A trick about doing a stuffing under the skin, you're going to want to use a spoon, but also take a look here. Lift from the back, and I'm just taking my finger and I'm releasing the skin from the meat of the chicken all the way up on both sides. Be careful when you're doing this. You don't really want to rip the skin. Okay, now this is going to go in right under the skin, like that. You're going to put half under one side, half under the other side. Don't worry about the leaves on the cilantro that are in here. It's going to cook down, and we're going to be removing it after it's cooked anyway. Okay, take a look. What I'm doing here is just massaging it. That's all I'm doing. Spreading it so that's going right through. Now that's going to go right into the meat. There's going to be some awesome flavors happening. We're going to do the same thing on the other side of it. You know what? Do it in 2 stages or you're going to rip the skin. So in it goes. And again. Okay, this is flavor building number 1. This is going under the skin. It's going to go, as I said, right against the meat, which is awesome. Now, the skin, although not that healthy to eat, you're going to eat it in this particular recipe because it's just too damn delicious. Let me get this out of the way here. And next we're going to do the flavoring on the outside. So with it, first thing I'm doing is I'm going to zest lemon all over the top. The flavor in the lemon zest is really nice. It's quite strong. And by the way, you know, you could use lime in this as well if you prefer. It's up to you. We're doing the whole lemon. I'm going to cut it in half, but I'm not going to pour it on top just yet. Okay, roasted garlic. This stuff is fantastic. I usually get a 3-pound bag and I roast it off on the stovetop. Just cover it with oil, just to have it covered. I simmer it for about 45 minutes. This will last in your fridge for, I don't know, 6 months easy. But it's good for so many things. Mashed potatoes, covering a chicken, doesn't matter. I'm just smearing it all over. And now sugar. This is another part that we're going to sprinkle on. Sugar helps the caramelization of it. Oh, it's a little stiff here. Let me just break that down. This is organic cane sugar. When it hits the air, it does go kind of rock hard, but there, that's going to work. And we're just going to sprinkle it on like that and rub it. It's going to give it a little sweetness, but I'm not going for the sweetness. I'm doing for the caramelization in this. Now, the lemon's going on. Just squeezing all over the top. Can you imagine the flavors that are going on here? This half lemon's going into the cavity. By the way, when you do the lemons in the cavity, it does make the chicken take a longer time to cook, so keep that in mind. There is what we got going there. And last but not least is salt and pepper. We're just going to put some fresh cracked pepper on the top. And we're going to take a little bit of salt here. I like to sprinkle with my hands because I know exactly how much is going on. And that's all there is to this. This is going to go into the oven. It's going to go in for a 400-degree oven for the first 10 minutes. I'm going to turn it down to 350. It's going to go for another 55 minutes. And Bob's your uncle is going to be done. Becca, do me a favor. Can you pop that in? Thank you. Okay, well, when we come back, you're in for a real treat. We're going to do a really nice spicy peanut sauce to accompany this beautiful chicken. Welcome back. Chicken's in the oven. Well, now we're going to a different flavor compound here. This one is going to be a fantastic hot, spicy peanut sauce. Now, before we get into that, what I want to talk about is all the components here. I don't know if you've been keeping the gluten-free pantry that I've spoken of, but the gluten-free pantry is super important for your flavors. This is something you're going to want to keep in the pantry. Always have some crunchy peanut butter, all natural. That's so good to make sauces with, many different things. Lime juice, for sure, that's something I use quite a bit. Coconut, shredded coconut, another thing's fantastic. Honey, tamari soy sauce, which we already spoke of before. Rice vinegar, again, and oil. Now, oils, you can use many different types. When you go to make sauces or marinades, that type of thing, you really kind of want to have a neutral oil because you want all the other flavors to pick up. I forgot to mention also the hot sauce, super important. Put that in. My favorite one is the Asian one, sriracha, but I mean, that's my favorite. You guys do what you want, it's up to you. With this sauce, I want an extra kick, so I'm also putting chili peppers, and that again, put that in your pantry. Very important to have. Cilantro, as a lover or hate, I don't know, people love it, they hate it. If you don't want to use cilantro, that's fine. You're not going to get quite the same flavor, but do put something, maybe a flat leaf parsley into there, or even celery leaves. That would work as well and give you a bump of flavor. Okay, well, let's get started on this sauce. Now, this sauce complements beautifully the chicken that's in the oven. Now, remember that chicken in the oven, what I did, I had the cilantro with the butter and the cinnamon under the skin. All that flavor is just going right into that skin. Is beautiful. Second to that, I've ended up putting in, on the outside, I squeezed the lemon. I did roasted garlic. I added some salt and pepper and some organic cane sugar. Now again, that is another flavor building. I'm not an advocate of eating unhealthy, except when it comes to this particular chicken, because the skin is going to taste fantastic as part of the whole package. The honey that I'm using is an organic, thick honey, unpastured honey actually. I've had to put it into the microwave to loosen it up. Remember about the tamari sauce. There's many different soy sauces out there. Remember that you really want to get them that are gluten-free. Read your labels. There's so much available that's coming out in the market. I'm actually quite impressed what I'm seeing out there right now. Chili peppers is going in, and the hot sauce to bump it up further. And last but not least, we're going to take the cilantro. I personally love the cilantro, so when it comes to my Asian cooking, it always goes in. I'm just going to roll it up kind of like a cigar. And I'm going to chop it down to more manageable little bite-sized pieces. Okay, and just popping right like that. And we're going to stir it up. This is a 5-minute. Like, really, this is 5 minutes to make this sauce. The one thing you do want to do, however, is you want to make sure you make it in advance enough so that the flavors can meld themselves together. Give it about a half hour anyway. Doesn't need to be refrigerated. Ready to go on here. Now, that is a beautiful sauce. Easy, ready to go. Chicken's in the oven. Sauce is ready. It's sitting there. It's going to get its flavors going together beautifully. When you come back, you're in for a super treat because I'm making some awesome crepes, and I got a little secret for you. See you soon. Welcome back. Chicken's out of the oven. Look at how good that looks. Set to go. I'm going to let it cool a little bit because I don't want to burn my fingers when I'm pulling it apart. The sauce, it's sitting there and is really getting to know each other. Now, on the sauce, I want to just clarify one thing I said earlier. The oil I used in here was just a neutral oil, and the reason I did that is in my next thing with the crepes, I'm using sesame oil, so I didn't want to overpower in my flavors. When you use oil in a marinade or a dipping sauce, it's holding all the other ingredients together. It's helping it just all meld together or mix together and stay that way. So that's why I use neutral in this one. Now, here, remember I said you guys are in for a treat? Club soda. Go figure. My pancake mix, I'm using that for crepes. People say, how can you? Crepes don't go with pancakes. It does. The only difference is I don't put eggs, and that's all a crepe is. There's no eggs in the crepe. Club soda, this was a big surprise to me. I put this in, and I'm telling you, it just lifted everything. All those bubbles are going right into these crepes. Makes it light and beautiful. I'm going with 2 cups here, and I'm almost there. A little bit more. And it's just going to go right in. Now, you always put a fat in when you're doing with your crepes. Sometimes it's melted butter, doesn't matter. This is, again, the Asian trick. I'm doing the sesame oil into this. Take a look at the bubbles, what's going on here. You think, wow, you got way too much liquid in here. Watch what happens. It's really cool. It's just going to suck up all that flour, and it's going to come together really, really nice. Give it a good whisk, by the way. Try to get your lumps out. Like with pancakes, it doesn't matter. You can have lumpy pancakes. It'll all cook itself out. With the crepes, I prefer to get them out. Look at how this has come together. The last thing I'm putting in is I'm going to do a pinch of salt, just to bump it up a bit, and then also the sesame oil. Like I said, you remember with pancakes or with crepes, you're putting melted butter, sesame oil, huge flavor. Little goes a long way. I put a tablespoon into this one. Don't worry about the recipes, guys. Go to my website, www.you'dneverknow.com. It'll be sitting there waiting for you. Make sure that you whisk this really well. Get the oil all through it. It's going to help it lift some more. Okay, you need a spoon with this. You need a griddle. If you don't have a griddle, no sweat. Don't even worry about it. All you need to do is take a frying pan and just make sure you got a good heat happening. This is on at a 400 for me right now. I'm going to spray it with a non-stick cooking spray. Even though this is a non-stick grill, I'm still doing that. I'm using a ladle to start with. And watch what I'm going to do here. It's fluffy. Oh, so fluffy. And by the way, this is going to give me about 9 crepes, which is great. 1 for testing, because you're just going to want to taste it anyway. And then 2 per person for the meal. Watch how I'm pulling this. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. It seems a little high for me. See, watch what's going on here. All the bubbles and the thinness is coming right out. Keep spreading. Don't worry. See the holes that are happening? It's all good. It comes back together very easily. Just keep spreading. I want it really, really thin. Now look how it's cooking here. It's coming right down. And boy, can you smell this? Can you actually smell the sesame oil in here? It's very strong. I'm just spreading. If you have a bowl of water too, that might be helpful for it to stop sticking. But you know what? This is rustic. I'm all about rustic cooking, so don't worry how this is going. There. You want to get it as thin. See, look, it's already cooking through there. Literally, this is a 2-minute aside. Bring it all the way. As it's cooking, I just keep spreading it. And it actually, if you wait for a minute, I think it might be better because it's going to be adhering to the bottom a bit. Oh boy, does this smell good. Okay, the last thing that needs to go on here are the green onions. Here we go. Slide it down. Becca, do me a favor and just get me a little spatula I'm going to flip this with. Plastic one over there, please. Thank you. Okay, green onions. Let's move this out of the way. Take our green onions. Little thin slices. Get rid of this part here. And I'm just going to sprinkle them right on top of the pancakes. And we're going to flip them over. They're almost practically cooked now, but you're still going to go 2 minutes on the other side. Thanks, Becca. There we go. All right. I'm pressing it in. And I'm going to flip it over. Yes, thank you. Let me just get it to flip. There, look at these. These are so cool. I was so impressed when I figured this one out. They're light, they're fluffy, they're skinny, and they're going to go so great with this chicken. Okay, while the other side's cooking here, I'm going to start tearing some chicken up. First, we'll get a little more of this cut up. ready for the next round. So let's go to the chicken. Take a look here. As I said, the chicken's cooked. It was 1 hour and 15 minutes with this chicken. Look at how beautiful that looks. I'm going to get a little dirty here. I'm going in with my hands, but that's all good. All I want to do is tear it apart. Skin and all. It's called pulled chicken. And it's called pulled because I'm pulling it. You see this, by the way? That's all your cilantro. That's all the flavoring that was in there. It melted into the meat. I'm just taking the cilantro off of it now. It's done its job. We don't need to have that in with the meat. And we're just like this, pulling it apart. And keep your pieces about yay big, just the way this is going. I think that can come off now, Beck. Thank you. And so that's 2 minutes aside on our crepes. The flavors here, now think about the flavors that are hitting here. Remember we talked what went on here? We had the cilantro, we had the Chinese 5-spice cinnamon, all sitting in there, lemon, roasted garlic, like killer flavors in there. This one here, we did the peanut sauce, we did lime, we did cilantro. All the Asian flavors are coming together, the coconut, like everything is coming so well together here. Okay, now there's 2 ways that we're going to be able to do this. Did you spray it already? Thank you. Get this back over here. And we're going to do one more. How about giving your hand and spreading it? Yeah? Awesome, thank you. Just keep spreading it down like I did. And it's, like I said, it's very forgiving. No worries on tearing it because you can spread it back. The holes will all get covered. Sorry about that, Becca.
It's okay.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so on this note now, I want a really nice vessel to clean it. One thing, by the way, I wanted to mention is everything's about texture for me. Not just the flavor, but when I eat something that's really soft and mushy, for example, the crepe, and then the chicken's not really got that much of a crunch, and then I got a sauce with a little bit of crunch with the peanut. Not quite enough for me. I always do like that yin and yang thing, so I'm going to bring some red pepper into this. I'm going to slice it down to get a bit of crunch going into these crepes when they're finally done. That looks pretty darn good to me if you ask me. Let me just get my hands here. And we're going to start showing you how this plating is going to be done. I got red pepper that I'm going to be using up. And I'm just going to cut down little thin strips is all I'm looking for. Give me a little bit of crunch, and again, it's going to give me another flavor that's going on top. Also, I got some Swiss chard. I like the color, I like the taste, and I'm also thinking about the nutrition on this one. So perfect. We're going to tear a couple pieces like that, and I'm going to grab a crepe and show you guys how we're putting this together. Let's get a plate. Okay, thanks, Becca. So we're going to take one of the crepes, just so. I'm taking a tiny bit of the chicken. And like I said, remember, skin and all. The skin has huge flavor. You don't want to miss out on that. And I need to get a spoon. Thank you. We're going to put a bit of the sauce on. Look at how good this sauce looks. It is so full of flavor. It's just screaming at you. This dish, I'm telling you guys, is seriously a huge party in your mouth. You're going to probably want to make a double recipe on this one, I'm pretty sure. And we're just going to give it a roll. And we're going to cut it, put it right there. We're also going to put the sauce into the bowl to bump up further flavors. But we're going to bring one more there. Very simple. And by the way, take a look at this. Take a look how beautiful and soft this is and pliable. These are like the perfect crepes. They really are. I'm so impressed on what that club soda did to the crepes. One more round here. Good job, Beck. Okay, I'm going to put a little sauce here. One more time. I just like a lot of sauce. The other thing you can do as well is the sauce can go right in with the meat, if you prefer. But there, give me a little wrap. And there we go. We're going to take a bit of the sauce, pour it in the bowl for extra. How's that look? Take a good look at this. Now this truly is a delicious dish. It is just screaming with flavor, tons of flavor, all types. Not hard to make. Please try to make it sometime nice, entertaining, easy, even for supper. A little salad on the side. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.